So the scripture, our main and key scripture that I want to come from today, talking about wait, is Isaiah 40, verse 31. And it says, "But they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary, and they shall walk and not faint." So that word wait is in the Strong's is number 6960. It means to hope in, to hope for, to wait for, to look for, to wait. So that's what wait means. And wait is also a verb. It's something that we do. So I'm thinking of, I think we could probably come up with a whole lot of stories in the Bible of people who didn't wait. I think one of the most popular that comes to my mind is Abraham and his wife Sarah. Okay, the Lord said, oh, you're going to have a child. You're going to be the father. Well, you're going to be the father of many nations. And yet we all know the story. Abraham was 100 years old when he conceived Isaac, and his wife was 90 years old. But we know Sarah in the middle of the promise, because it took about maybe 25 to 30 years for the promise to be fulfilled, right? So in the middle, Sarah does her thing like, oh, just sleep with my handmaid because, the Lord, he said that, but it's been years and years and years. And, we know that big mess. We know Ishmael was born and all the mess that was surrounded around them not waiting. So we have several instances in the Bible of people not waiting for that appointed time. So we have wait, it being an appointed time. But let's talk about a different kind of wait. We have Hannah, which ended up being Samuel's mother, right? Hannah in 1 Samuel chapter 1, she was barren. She was a barren woman, and she was married to Elkanah, and Elkanah had two wives. One was Peninnah, and one was Hannah. Peninnah had all the kids. Usually the wife that was the despised wife, the wife that wasn't treated as well as the other wife, the men always had their favorite wife. So Hannah was Elkanah's favorite wife. So she just happened to be the one that was barren because I guess she's the favorite. You don't want to treat the other one right. So Peninnah had all the babies, and Peninnah would actually taunt Hannah like, oh, that's why you can't have no babies. See, you aren't blessed. Having babies was a big thing back in those days. So Hannah was barren, and Hannah had to wait. And you'd be like, well, how did she have to wait? Well, she was praying to the Lord to open up her womb. She just praying like, Lord, please help me. Lord, please let me have a child. Lord, please. So she had to wait in something that was never promised to her. The Lord had never promised her that she would have a baby. This wait over here was a different kind of wait. The only thing that she had was the fact that God was a good God, and he's my father. And if I pray to him, that he will eventually open up my womb. See the wait that she had to do? She had a different kind of wait. So she was waiting in expectancy that the Lord would heal her body and that she would one day be able to have a child. And she was. It took her long, I don't know how many years. How old she was when she finally had Samuel. But the Lord finally, it says in 1 Samuel chapter 1, verse 19, it's beautiful, where it says, I like the end part. So basically, she really poured her heart out to the Lord. And I know this wasn't the first time. If you're barren, and say she was 25 or 30 years old, all those years she was praying, once she got married and became of childbearing age in her mind, all those years she was praying like, Lord, please let me have a child. Lord, please let me have a child. But it was at this one key point when the Lord was about to open her womb. It says 1 Samuel 1, verse 19, and they rose up in the morning, her and her husband, and worshiped before the Lord. So even the Lord hadn't answered her prayer yet, that she didn't know yet. And they worshiped before the Lord and returned and came to their house to Ramah. And Elkanah, which was her husband, he knew Hannah, his wife, and the Lord remembered her. I love that. And the Lord remembered her. It's like, I heard your prayer. I heard your prayer years ago, but the fullness of time, I will answer you. I will remember you. while you're waiting. I remember you. I see you. I will answer your prayer in due time, in due season. Abraham had a specific promise that he was going to have a child. He just didn't know when. But Hannah didn't have a specific promise, but she was still waiting and resting in the faithfulness of her God, resting that the Lord would eventually see her, resting that the Lord will remember her one day. There's purpose in our waiting. There's provision in our waiting. And sometimes there's pain. And I talked about the pain. There's pain in waiting. But also, like I said, in the waiting comes the provision. And the scripture that I read, it says, but they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. That's provision. They shall mount up on wings. This is the promise. As eagles, they shall run and not be weary, and they shall walk and not faint. You see that? The provision is he's going to renew our strength. And the promise is, oh, and guess what? You're going to mount up on wings, like you're going to mount up with wings as eagles. And you're not going to get weary. You're not going to get tired. That if you wait in me, that I will provide everything that you need in its season and in due time. But I just want you to do what I said. I want you to wait. So waiting is not easy, but it's something that we have to do anyway. So I want to tell you things that I could tell you how to wait, but instead I'm going to tell you how not to wait. Resist complaining when you're waiting because it only makes the time move slower. Resist complaining. Resist comparing yourself to others while you're waiting because it only makes you bitter. Resist coming up with your own plan or your own solutions. Just think of Sarah and Abraham, because it only results in Ishmaels. And what is an Ishmael? An Ishmael is a counterfeit. And Ishmaels come with two C's, their sisters, confusion and consequences. So resist trying to fix it on your own, doing it your own self. Resist that and trust God. Because if you do it your own way, like Sarah did, like I said, now not only do you still have to wait, they still had to wait for Isaac to come. They did their own little concoction, and guess what? They still had to wait for Isaac to come. And then while you're waiting, now you have the confusion and the consequences of you not waiting. So you might as well just wait. So what can we do instead of complaining? What can we do instead of worrying and losing sleep at night? Well, you can grow while you wait. You grow through patience. You grow through endurance. You can grow up while you wait. We start off as babes when we come to the Lord, and we need milk to be fed milk. But we can grow up into one day when we're fully grown and mature Christians. What else can we do while we're waiting? We can serve while we're waiting. I remember years ago, my husband found me at church. I don't know if he found me. He discovered me somewhere else. Then he came and found me at my church, hunted me down. I mean, like, this guy was, whoa. Anyway, but when he found me, guess what I was doing? It was my Sabbath to usher. I was serving when my husband found me. Who was I serving? I wasn't serving myself. I was serving Jehovah God. I was serving God while my husband found me. He found me serving, right? So I was waiting to be found by my husband. And in the process, I was serving while I waited. You can worship while you wait. When I say worship while you wait, your silence can be a form of worship to the Lord. Instead of you complaining, you could just be silent. If you can't praise at that time, honor the Lord with your silence. This is the harsh truth. And let's just get it out, all out in the open. You will have to wait while you wait. So just keep that in mind. You have to wait while you wait. And there's no way around it. We must wait. So I know you heard the doorbell. I tried to ignore that a couple minutes ago. And my grandchildren came in very excited and singing and dancing. So I had to kind of wrap it up. But I just wanted to end the video like this. Oh, and you know what? If you hold on a few minutes, there's going to be a remnant challenge at the end of this. But anyway, I wanted to end like this. A scripture that I feel like is very relevant to waiting on the Lord, waiting in the Lord, is Psalm 25, verses 20 and 21. And this is what it says. Oh, keep my soul and deliver me. Let me not be ashamed, for I put my trust in thee. Let integrity and uprightness preserve me, for I wait on thee. So that's what we have to do, guys. We have to let integrity preserve us. But you know, the thing that really stood out to me in that scripture, those two scriptures, was the T word, the trust word. It's very hard to wait on someone that you do not trust. It's very hard. So we're coming into a new year soon. And I just want to challenge you as well as myself that for us to get closer to the Lord so that we can actually trust him. So that when he tells us to wait, that it'll still be uncomfortable, but it doesn't have to be like you waiting at the airport for a stranger. It's a difference when you're waiting at the airport for a stranger and when you're waiting at the airport for someone that you know, for someone who is a part of your life, for someone that you know what I'm saying? You know them, so you know that they might be running late, but I know they're coming. So please, guys, we have to get to know the Lord through his son, Jesus Christ. And that could just be 5 minutes a day. You just spending 5 minutes in a quiet room alone with the Lord for 5 minutes. And then you'll come to see that it'll be 5 minutes that'll go to 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. With getting to know the Lord through intentional time that you spend with him, through praying, and praying isn't just talking to God the whole time. Half of your praying time should be listening, through reading your word. Even if it's just like I said, you start up with a few minutes a day or a few minutes every other day. And the reason we read our word, I know some people think, well, am I reading my word just so I can just check off some point? No, you're reading your word so you can get to know the Lord, so that you can actually trust the one who's making the promises in the word. You can't claim promises that you've never read. You can't trust anybody that you've never met. So that's what it's all about. It's about you forming a relationship through Jesus Christ so that we can know him, Jesus, better and his Father better. And we know that through spending intentional time. So that's just my challenge for you, that if you don't know the Lord, that you get to know him for yourself. And then it'll make waiting, like I said, it may not become easy, but will become attainable and become something that we can do. So I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Welcome to the Remnant Challenge. Thank you so much for sticking with me to the end of this video. It is so encouraging to me, and I truly appreciate it. All right, so here's our challenge for this video. You're going to the ball. The fairy godmother has just dropped off everything that you need, or at least you thought she did. So she dropped off your gown, your shoes, and your clutch bag. She's poofed out of the scene, and then you realize, oh my goodness, she didn't leave me a pair of stockings. So you get everything laid out on your bed. You're not going to stress about it. It's no big deal. What you're going to do is you're going to go to Walmart real quick. So you run to Walmart and you get you a pair of stockings. But when you come back, you notice that something terrible has happened. Your evil stepsisters have stolen your shoes. They stole your clutch bag. And they swapped out your beautiful gown for this ugly purple gown. Oh my goodness. What are you going to do? So you run to your stepmother's closet and you're searching for shoes. You need some shoes. You need some shoes. Because you're going to the ball. You're going to the ball regardless. You're not letting them block your joy, stop your joy. So you run to her closet and you happen to find 3 pair of shoes that you can actually fit. They're in your size. The shoes are gorgeous. They have a clutch bag sitting right next to them, each shoe. So the bag and the shoe matches, right? The only problem is that there's only 3 colors. The shoes are all exactly the same, but they're in 3 different colors. There's an orange pair, a brown pair, and a turquoise pair. But your dress is purple. Okay, so what are you going to do? I need you to drop it in the comments. Are you wearing the orange shoes, the brown shoes, or the turquoise shoes? Let me know.